Ladies and gentlemen, another exciting, fun show we have here on the Your Little Castle show. How many people like to make sure when they go to get something done, they get it all done in one stop, right?
Right.
Is this a great idea or what? I wasn't the first to come up with it. These professionals here are the ones who've really made that happen. Carter Rethwish here, a.k.a. the Cardinal Cowboy. One Stop General Contracting, LLC in the building, and they do a great job making sure that you get everything you need all in one stop. Is that the idea here? Tell me.
It's kind of in theory. I mean, it's, we want to make sure that our customers can call us and essentially tell us their needs and get it done.
Okay, well, when you thought about this early on, what was the idea? You said, hey, I want to be a contractor. Tell me what brought you into this to begin with. Tell me.
So what really started is we kind of started more doing smaller type jobs. It was more of like a handyman kind of thing and just renovations and repairs. So it's kind of like a one-stop to where you could do that. It grew actually a lot more than that. Our customers wanted more, essentially, than these little things. And we started getting more hands on board and with the growth we had to where we ended up actually renaming. And we said, we need to actually become this general contractor to be able to advertise doing these larger projects and essentially be that one-stop call. And now we typically let people know that if you've got something that's too big for you, that's what we're here for.
And it's really nice too. You don't have to call a plumber, an electrician, have framers. We do it all. Everything's done start to finish, and we hand the project over to you when you're done.
And did we talk about the fact you've got the licensing done necessary to do that? Because if you get some work done and say, hey, who did this work? It's kind of shiny. Oh, my brother-in-law did it. Well, then you end up with some legal issues. Say the house burns down and say, not covered. You didn't have this done by a license, and you guys have got all the licenses.
Yeah, we're all in-house. Everything's all licensed, insured, bonded. So, we make sure that everybody's protected for their means. We get even people that ask us all the time, do we need permits and doing it? It's for your protection, not mine.
Right. Good idea. Well, some experts here, and that we love to talk about experts in our community that are leading to do that. And along with that, our sponsors. Your Little Castle Show brought to you by Carroll House Furniture. Brooke and Amy, you see there. I hang out with Brooke from time to time. A lot of people know Brooke and I've been buddies for a long time. But Carroll House, because you like nice things. Where do you like nice things? Well, you must have those things located someplace, like in your little castle. And you guys help make that castle beautiful. Brooke and Amy will help you furnish it, because we just bought a bunch of furniture from them with our Airbnb. Great prices. Check them out. Carroll House Furniture. Also, then you will likely need to get that house paid for, right? So USA Mortgage, longtime sponsor now of the show, powered by the Flowers team. I do have my mortgage license. A lot of people do know that. Our NMLS numbers are going to come across the screen here. They're on the bottom over there too. But I'm licensed. I'm licensed. There we go. For something that you need to make sure you want to get that done. Your Little Castle sponsor, USA Mortgage. So with that, this is where the fun part. This is what I like. This work you guys have is wow. I started looking through. You guys have like hundreds of pictures, and you said you've lost a couple cell phones along the way.
Yes.
that had a bunch more pictures.
A few little accidents.
And lots of great work. Well, tell me, if you would, David, what led you here? How did you get into this? Are you a veteran also? Or?
Not a veteran, no. But
Amanda's a veteran. Okay.
I make the joke. My dad made me the offer to go to trade school, because I mentioned to him about doing the military, and he's like, no, why don't we look at trade school? And I said, well, if you're covering it, sure. And that was a great gift from him, because in my family comes a lot of carpentry work. Okay. And so I was basically gifted with 2 years of college paid for and a lot of knowledge, and it's got us where we are.
Well, as I say, in the veteran owned, and that's Amanda here. You are a veteran.
Yes.
How long ago did you serve? What branch were you in?
2002. I was in the Army. I was in military police.
Okay.
And loved every second of it. And we do a lot for our vets. We offer discounts for veterans and first responders, as I worked ER for 16 years as well. So we kind of like to kick back to both of those and show our respect. So we like to do projects for veterans as well. That's one thing we kind of pride ourselves in.
Okay.
Helping take care of them.
Nice. I like that. Well, great work here and some real experience. If you don't mind, I live on the set, little adjustment. take your your mic is tucked underneath there. There you go. All right, everybody. See, we go on the fly here, but make sure that stays out. And we're gonna do a sound check. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Count to 3 for me, man.
1, 2, 3.
There you got it. All right. With that, I'm gonna do a quick camera on you now. David, tell us, what's it like working with a veteran?
You know, a lot better than you'd think. The one thing I can honestly tell you is, you know, she takes a lot of pride in everything she does. The big joke that we make is that, you know, they say stereotypically men being stubborn. I think she's kind of sometimes a stubborn one on the jobs because we tell her, look, you know, you're surrounded by men all day, make us do the hard work, and she'll be pushing us out of the way to try to get things done. And like, you know, take it easy a little bit here. And but she's got that mentality of, you know, I might be small, but I'm mighty. She's 120 pounds, but she could pick up and move anything that's in her way. You'd be amazed.
Oh, man, is that part of the fun, what you get to do then?
Oh, yes. And I like to help. I like to work with the customers, too. A lot of communication, but I do really enjoy the hard work and perfecting what we do and taking a step back. And it's really one of those things that you're trained that you just do. So, you know, you may have a rough day and you just keep doing. So that's kind of what I like to instill in anybody that comes to work with us as well.
It's really early to put on the cowboy hat here, but that's a real, you just keep doing it, right? How many people want to give up after the slightest hurdle, the inconvenience? And I mean, I get to now where I'm looking for things to go wrong. Not necessarily looking for them, but I know they're going to happen because what am I going to do to overcome it? And where is it going to launch me into a new place where I've got more skills, I've learned something? Is that what you enjoy about getting these things done?
Absolutely. New projects come new territory and learning new things and creating new things and taking those steps to better for our customers, better our business, and better our communication for our customers as well. It's just creating something new is very exciting, and just pushing through all the hurdles to get there is just one of those things that kind of come along with it. So,
well, again, looking at your guys' work, we're going to show you guys a bunch of the pictures, a lot of stuff that they've done here. And have really done a great job to make a difference here in our community. So we always highlight. So take note, some of the important things Amanda and David are talking about. What's a personal hobby? What would you say is one thing that kind of led you here? Did Dad say, hey, this is a good area for you? How did you initially get interested in doing this?
So the funny thing really is I bought a cheap house when I was in my early 20s. And I said, you know what, this is what I can afford. It needs some work. My family knows how to do it. Hey, Dad, can you help me? And of course, you know, loving Dad, you know, he had his moments of seeing reluctant, but you know, he loved helping, and he still wishes he could help more today than he can. And it's just been kind of neat because I took that first house and really learned a lot with it, and I've actually owned multiple houses since, and just kind of done the buy, live, and flip, and it's expanded a lot of knowledge. We've did a couple together, and it's really shown those little areas that you need a little bit of fine-tuning areas. It's nice when you can do them in your own home and essentially perfect that craft. Something as simple as just some little drywall work, some flooring, some tile. If you need to do, you can learn it the hard way.
Well, that's how a lot of us get our initial interest. We just try something ourselves and then dig in, and then now it's turned into an incredible career. Right. And when you've talked about the work you've done here, I'm like, holy cow, you've had about 600 jobs you've done, 600 basements, and then you've done some decks for many years. But the focus now is the basement stuff, right? And finishing basements.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've just kind of fallen into it. We'd started doing them, and I thought it'd be funny to make a joke one year. I was like, let's see if we do 10, and the next thing you know, we're doing 50 in a year. And It's like, wow, I mean, just like, and then now it's like, people think it's unreal. I mean, we have one that we're wrapping up today that our finisher will be back there by the end of the week, that we did a full frame out, electric, plumbing, drywall, everything completely finished, installed a bar with tops, a shiplap wall, and all under a month.
Wow.
Start to finish.
Permits, you're doing 50 jobs. You've got 3 or 4 going at any given time?
Oh, absolutely. Typically 3 to 4 at a time.
Almost one a week. That's crazy.
Pretty typical of our average, and then we'll throw a deck in there, or remodel, or some kind of...
Get a master bathroom if people want to get overhauled, or kitchen. We'll throw those in there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's why they're called one-stop general contractors. They can do all the work from beginning to end, and it's great to have such leaders that are really taking on. And we've had all kinds of guys on the shows, and they all kind of specialize. But when you've got essentially, there's nowhere that somebody has to go besides you guys to make sure everything you need. Plumbing, electric, those are the two big ones you got to have. And then you probably get into foundation stuff. And I mean, how much of that stuff you got to get into? That
I mean, and what's nice is, if we don't do it, we've got guys that do it. We've got some of the most incredible subs. I love our subs. They're all like family.
Our family.
Or our family, yes.
they
absolutely.
Are actually family?
No, my brother actually is our HVAC.
Okay.
And
HVAC,
so it's I mean, and we all hang out even outside of work. We'll all get together, have a bonfire together, go out to dinner. I mean, we really do. We are a tight-knit family. And it's nice, I mean, because there's about 15 of us.
Okay.
That are on any given moment on a job.
Okay, there's a pretty good crew there. They got 15 people to do the work. You're going to be ready to run around and make sure and get that all done. Tell us a little bit more about the background then. You 11 years now in the business. How many years have you?
I've been right about a decade.
You're at a decade now.
So I mean, it started doing just small repairs, doing things of course that you can get away without having the licenses and all that stuff. But then it got to that point. Okay, I'm doing things that now require permits, where we actually LLC'd. And did that. We've actually had an LLC now for I think about 7 or 8 years.
Yes.
Because again, we started as just patch jobs and little things that you don't really need anything like that. But then once we got to that point of saying, okay, things are getting a little bit more important. We're getting to be known. We need to actually get to that point.
Sure.
And it's important to be legit as far as when you're doing these larger projects. You don't want to have somebody come into your house and start tying in water pipes behind a wall or running electric lines. I mean, there's an insurance claim waiting to happen, or better yet, your life. I mean, potentially.
Yeah, nobody wants to step on a live wire.
No.
Somebody kind of halfway put in was stuck behind a wall. That can be detrimental, to say the least, and very serious.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why you do need general contractors that are the professionals that take all the steps. Well, that's important. I again, we would like to make that point. There's so much that goes into this too, the training and the background. But then you met your wife, Amanda, and then she decided to help you, and she's been working with you now for 6 years.
Well, she was the turning point. I mean, it went from just usually myself and another guy or two doing just some. Again, like almost odd and end kind of things. We didn't really specialize in anything, and she was kind of that key to really take things off, and then it just started seeing the sky from there. It was really a big difference, just to kind of help hold the wheel, guide us in the right direction, and really push us all. Now she's trying to hold me back because I get hunger for more growth and that, but you got to take one day at a time.
You got to have a balance.
All right, so Amanda, you put a lot on you there. You're the impetus behind making this thing launch. What's it like doing all this?
Well, I mean, for me, it's very exciting. I've had a strong work ethic from my parents. They've done fantastic. I started my first paycheck job at 14 and have never stopped working since. And they've really instilled in me a good work ethic. So putting that behind something I believed in, and I believed in David so much, I was like, we need to do this. You need to keep going. And as it kept growing, it was getting more and more exciting. And I just wanted to see what this little thing started into something bigger, and it's really gotten there.
Amazing, yeah. I mean, when you start a company, it really takes off. I mean, it's got to be. That's what we're all looking for. I mean, how many times? What is it? The fail rate for businesses is like 90%.
Within the first 5 years.
I think it's 95% fail in the first 5 years.
Wow. See, all right, but you guys have made it now, and this is
right.
And continuing on, and you hit that decade mark. I know the decade mark for a lot of people is the key turn, and you've made it through that now.
Well, the one thing I would say from experience is, even though owning a business, it's fun. You've got the freedom. Oh, I want to be my own boss. It just like everything else becomes a job. And you got to remember every day that I got to still get up and go. I got to get this done. This has got to get done. We've got deadlines to do. I've got customers to take care of. I got employees to represent. I got to still look good for because they're looking up to me. And so it's, you got to keep that in the back of your head that you still got to keep that drive.
Yeah. You got to feed your family. You got to feed your employees' families. We take care of them. We also, provide insurance and things like that for them as well. So.
Yeah, my dad made the point to me years ago. He said, Carter, when you own your own business, now everyone is your boss, right?
Right.
You've got to be available all the time just in case there's a problem. doing my little thing here with our show. Last night, I'm like, we need to make a little edit. I need to get that to ABC. We better shoot this thing and edit. And I got to do it. And I got to get it there by 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, I was up till 3 getting this done. How many times is there times when you're like scrambling to order parts and get things delivered and make sure everything's on time? That when you're building.
Oh, she's
like you
already passed out in bed, and I'm still doing paperwork. I mean, yeah, there's plenty.
All right, but you obviously make a good team doing this. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And she does
that's
her
really
share.
Key to it. Okay. All right. Well, to tell me a little bit, where does the passion for this really kick in? I mean, is this something when you start off with the passion, or we started to build up after you realize what you were building?
Well, you know, I mean, the passion I feel like comes after each job because so it's what happens is you see this get built. I mean, don't get me wrong. Before it was a little bit different, where now. You're such a professional mindset, I guess, at this point. I think everybody would agree that when we're there just doing a job, it's just doing a job. Once we reveal that final product to our customer, and it's big, wide open jaws of a grin face-to-face of excitement, that's when the passion hits. Because it's like, that's when it's worth it. Getting up early every day, having those late nights, if need be, pushing those deadlines, and then when they're happy and excited, and they, Our best thing that I love more than anything is when people call and they go, I got your name from this person. Not, I saw an advertisement. No, I got it from this person. 95+% of our phone calls are purely referrals. And I'm like, we did something right then. Yeah. We made somebody happy.
Well, that's where, again, we like to highlight those who are doing the work that gets that kind of referral. And we just wanted to give the shot to the smaller businesses who don't have a $200,000 marketing budget, but they do great work, and people need to know about it. So thanks for taking the time to come see us here. All right, the passion is obviously there. You guys do an incredible job there. I want to show some of the reviews. You saw me over here. I'm always digging in to pull stuff up and highlight things. So we're going to put up on the far wall there. I'll put this on the wide screen. You can see our studio here. We got 2 TV walls, but take a look here up on the wall, and you can see here a 4.9. Who's the one that didn't give you a 5? You've had a 5.0.
So a funny story I actually tell people is I had a lady that's made a comment on our review that said I cut her off on the highway and give us her 1-star review.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
It had nothing to do with work.
She was not a client or anything?
No. And I think we had 2 similar that were on Facebook that we even fought. They removed the comment, but never removed the rating.
Okay. So almost a perfect rating here. Anyway, everybody.
I thought it still looks pretty
4.9.
good.
4.9. Well, it's almost like now you look legit, because if it said 5.0 and everything.
I've had some friends say the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a little bit bizarre. But take a look here on the wall, everybody. Here you go. Some examples of some of the work and pictures there. You can go. But here's Stacy Couch, Jim Eggemeyer. That's an interesting name. One Stop General Contracting did a great job on our basement. Took it from blank slate to a beautiful place that we love and hang out in. Still a few touches to do ourselves, but David and Amanda did an awesome job. Would highly recommend them.
The funny thing is, somebody like Jim there was super nervous of everybody who looked at hiring. He was a nervous wreck the whole time of our process there. His wife even told him, calm down. And then when we were all done with it, he still looked all sweaty in the face. Was like,
really?
I'm so glad that it worked out. I said, I told you from the beginning.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can only imagine. And when you see such happy people, he even put a picture up there.
Oh, yeah. They were super excited.
And so, very cool. And a lot of people that he's made a video of everything. Wow, that does look great. Well, you got some great fans that are really doing some work. So everybody take a look there. I'll put this up.
You speak of fans, our Facebook pages, as far as people adding us and stuff, have blown up over the years as well. And a lot of previous customers. They love saying they follow us.
Our previous customers will come up to us in the store, chat us up, and tell us how things are going. We always ask about the kids or the animals and things like that. And it's just nice to be able to talk and see them all over again.
Well, that's when you're making some connections there with the people that you're doing work for. Right. That is so cool. But yeah, great reviews, everybody. A 4.9, and that's on 49 reviews. This is not like 12 reviews. They've got a lot of reviews, and if they had a perfect 5.0, I'd be like, what's going on?
If you actually go on Facebook, it's at 87, I believe, at a 4.9. So there's almost 100 reviews on Facebook.
Well, we'll pull those up for everybody to look at too. Tell me then, what's the one thing that you would say really sets your business apart from the rest?
I mean, I almost say there's not really one thing. I feel like there's multiple things. Our big thing is I would say passion. Going back on that one, because we don't use the entry grade materials. I like getting, higher level quality materials to make sure things finish right. We've got some of the best guys that are with us to make sure that quality to finish. If you see something you don't like, point it out to us. We correct it, and those are the things that we want to do. We don't argue with it. It's just like, okay, if you don't like it, we'll take care of it.
Amanda, do you agree with that? That is essentially, it's not any one thing. It's the cumulative effect of all these things you've got to do well, come out to a good product.
And it's not just our passion. Everybody who works with us is passionate about it as well. So it's not us making everybody else passionate. It's everybody collaborating together to do it. And it makes the whole process special, because I really try to make sure to listen to the customers, to make sure I find out what they're looking for, because sometimes they don't know exactly what they're looking for. So taking that extra time to make it their place and their dream.
And that's because you are the director. You're the one who makes this stuff happen. My dad would joke about my mom saying, my mom's a director for drama. And he would say, she's the director of everything, Carter. So make sure to keep mama happy. But when you're in charge, somebody's there saying, I need this changed. I need that fixed. I need this. Well, we'd expect that. We would like to modify that.
Right.
And you're the one who's in charge of that. You've got to make sure that the lead carpenter, the foreman here, gets all the jobs done. Is that right?
It goes back and forth, but yes.
All right, good stuff. Well, then tell me, then, as we continue here, I've got some other important things to talk about with you. What would you say that is the one mistake that a consumer often makes when they're in the middle of this and they're saying, "Hey, man, we want to get this thing done. It looks great, or we want to look great," but where do they make a mistake? Doing it themselves, contracting somebody with experience? What do you think?
I think personally the biggest mistake that I would say that everyone would agree on, if they didn't think about it already, is not having basically everything together, what you want done in your mind, on paper, set. So if you've got an idea that you want to do, but you haven't completed all the process, say that you're wanting something set up this way, or this a certain color or a configuration, and if you're trying to do it on the fly, you're going to be really unhappy with it. So I try to usually push to people, do you need help with design? Because we can either help you with some minor design things. We've got a design team that we refer people to if need be, if they need a lot of help on. And the more information you can give us, that project's going to be exactly how you want it to be. If you give us very vague information, you're kind of letting us create what we think you want.
Right.
That's really what I would say is one of our biggest things that I emphasize anybody. And like you said, going back, trying it yourself, we've had plenty of people that have to spend a lot more to have to fix something,
right,
rather than just hiring a professional from the start.
And to go back on what you were saying there, I think Abraham Lincoln was quoted as saying, if I'm going to do a job, I will spend 5 days sharpening the knife for the one day that we're going to actually do the work. And that's the prep and then the configuration and the planning and all that. That's important. Do you agree, Amanda?
It is absolutely 100% a huge factor, because there's also a lot of times where people are getting multiple bids and they don't know exactly what they want. So they're getting bids from multiple contractors, and each contractor is seeing their vision completely different. So you're not even comparing the same bids together. You're comparing different people's ideas of what they think you want, because you don't even really have it fine-tuned and figured out what you want.
Okay.
So
can lead to many problems in a situation where people go, that's not what I wanted. And you're like, well, you didn't tell us what you wanted exactly.
Exactly.
And now it's a lot more work then to also go back and tear things out.
Yeah.
And have to
you don't have to pay us to do it twice.
Contract work can be expensive, even if you do it all yourself, all in one stop. If you have to do it again, right? Materials and labor.
It's even more expensive if they've done it and we have to redo it.
Right.
Because if it's not done right, then it's start over and, start from the beginning.
Right. So if you did it the first time, even if it has to be undone, you know what you did. If you're figuring out what somebody else did, you're like, where'd this wire come from?
Oh, when you're dissecting.
It gets very nerve-wracking sometimes.
That has been quoted a lot of times.
All right. Well, that's why, again, bring in the experts, everybody. Stop. One stop, right? Stop. And get one stop, general contracting, local veteran. I've got the information. Veteran owned, and that's you, Amanda.
Yes.
David and Amanda Messner. Did I say that right?
Messner.
And they do a great job, and we're just really excited again to talk with them a little about it. Now, I want to put up here in a little bit because you mentioned this, and a lot of people do not have as many reviews, especially on Facebook. You guys have a ton of reviews on Facebook as well, so I'm going to put those up for everybody to see here. But again, a 4.9 with 87 over here. Tell me one of these that was one of your favorites that you worked with, because obviously these people, they even put
everyone you've already passed there they're all our favorites. I mean, we love our customers.
We do love our customers.
They're great because the deck you've got here, they are the sweetest couple, I swear. They will comment on every one of our posts, even on our Facebook posts. And
That's a fan.
and I absolutely love them. They've been telling us on some recent posts that they should be on there saying they can't wait to get outside, for better weather to enjoy their deck. We did, and it's great because again, they love following us.
Well, we've got a couple minutes left here, showing off some of the work here. These are the pictures they've taken and posted them out there, and just looking great. I mean, look at that finish. Well, there's a big sectional for you.
Oh, yeah.
And an entertainment room right there. And that's the kind of work you guys do. So we want to show that off a little bit. So with that, I'm going to take a moment here. I'll put up on the wall. I saved this earlier. And a lot of stuff on their website, too, you can see. But let's go over here to the Facebook page. And I'm clicking the tab over here now where we do have. I'm going to switch back to where you can see if it's on the screen. Here are some of these unbelievable jobs here. Let's jump back down here. And I'm going to start right here. Do you remember this one?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, that was a really fun
Ping
one.
pong table, wood floors, couch. You can see the stairs on the left there.
There's a wine room.
That was a perfect example of a customer bringing plans to us with exactly what they wanted and a perfect execution. She was more than excited. Another customer that still makes comments.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that she has sent us 4 or 5 people since, and that was only a year ago that she's already sent us, that we've even completed since.
Wow, okay. And as I was picking that one, I know there was a framing job you had. Let me go back to that. And this is essentially what you get a good example here where your guys' work is going from scratch.
Yeah, and that's the same
That's
one.
the same basement.
That's that same job, right? And so this is what you call framing, right? And so you're putting up the 2x4s and making sure they all get. But you can see the angles there, the doors, and you got to run some wiring through all of that. And that's where you get started. And you're saying you can take it from this.
Oh, and that's actually about halfway.
That's about halfway. There was some other. What's the work that goes into
So
before
that, it's just concrete.
Concrete.
Right.
Okay.
So I mean, we've got our framers that go in and knock that out. I mean, there might be days that we might help them. I try to let them just kind of do their own thing. They do a phenomenal job. We do all the electric and plumbing work behind them. That one in particular, they wanted a little bit extra sound insulation in the ceiling, some little barriers up top.
Is
But
this the finished part of that?
That one's a different one.
Okay. I was trying to get through.
That one's
There
There it is.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is. There's that angled wall.
But yeah, I mean, the only thing that was actually in that situation, there was a staircase, and we did all the framing around it, put that little hole opening in. I mean, completely laid that whole design out. I mean, because there was just ductwork in there. It had to be framed in, boxed in. And we created the entire space. She gave us a complete layout, and we just followed suit.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we are finished with our first half hour. We're going to have another half-hour discussion here to get more into the depth of this and other things you should know about doing this kind of work in your basement, because you want to have it done by the pros. One Stop General Contracting, onestopgcllc.com. All right, stay tuned for more, everybody. Get up.